Good morning, Flosstube. Welcome to my channel. I am Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, and this is Flosstube number 14. Today is Saturday, June 11th, 2022. And yeah, I got a lot of stuff to show today. So if you are new to my channel, I would like to welcome you. Let me know how you found me. If you're either first time viewer or this is only your first or you're a new subscriber, because I'm just curious, because I've gotten a lot of new subscribers over the past couple weeks. I'm not really sure how. Well, I know part of the reason, because my buddy Alara gave me a shout out a few weeks ago. Thanks, Alara. So awesome. Yeah, I'm just curious because out of the blue, I've had so many new subscribers. Yeah. I think some of them came from some of my stitching games. So I was like, oh, I have a channel. And they're like, oh, what is it? So anywho, I have a lot of stuff to show you. I am going to try to keep this a little bit of a shorter video than what I normally do, because after this, I'm going to start uploading it. And then I was going to film a mid-year whip parade. Boom, boom, boom. And that video is going to take forever because I have so many whips. So many whips. I might be almost at 100 now. I'm not really sure. We might track that. We might try to count it when I film the whip parade. So, anywho, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about was somebody had asked quite a few videos ago had made a suggestion, and let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I don't know if I can, but somebody had made a suggestion about the stockings, the Christmas stockings that I'm working on. And they had said, because I was talking about oh, I found the other question I was looking for. Perfect. Okay. Sorry, this is what makes the video so long. I forget what I'm trying to say. Okay, well, anyway, I was trying to find the comment so I could name the person, and I don't know who it was. So if you're watching, I'm sorry, I can't find the comment now because I'll spend like 20 minutes looking for it. But they had suggested for my stockings that I'm doing from Heaven and Earth Designs, instead of trying to put a name in at the top because there's not a spot for a name, she said I could stitch a tag, like a gift tag. That was a brilliant idea. She said I could stitch a tag and attach it to the stocking when I turned it into a stocking. That's a great idea, and I love it, and I'm here for it. And if I ever finish these stockings, I will do that. I will find a really cool looking alphabet, and I will do it for my kids. Because the stockings are for my kids. So whoever said that, thank you so much for the suggestion, because I really appreciated that. That was a great idea. And I will go over that more in detail if I ever finish these stockings. The other person, Gabriella Zimmerman, had said, hi there, you've got some lovely projects. Thank you. Her question was, tell me please, where do you buy all your floss? I'd love to start stitching a Heaven and Earth design, but floss is way too expensive in my country. I usually stitch on 14 count. What would you suggest in the Heaven and Earth design? 28 count, 2/2. Won't that be so big in the end? So Gabriella, yes, over 2, if you're doing a Heaven and Earth design over 2, yeah, that's going to be huge. You may as well stitch on 14 count because that's what it's going to equate to. I stitch all of my large projects on a 25 count fabric or higher. If I do 28 count, I'm going to do it over 1, because it will shrink it will shrink the overall size down. So it's not like, it's going to be big no matter what. Heaven and Earth Designs and Crosshairs Studio are my two like big project companies that I buy patterns from, and they're not designed to be small. If you want a small project, like if you want a small project, I am doing one on 14 count from them, but it's a mini. It's still going to be a decent size. It's like 300 by 300, but still, but I'm stitching it on 14 count, so it's still going to be a decent size when it's done. But if you want to stitch a Heaven and Earth design, but you don't want it to be ginormous, if you're going to do 25 or 28 count, or 28 count, then I would suggest doing over one. I do 2 threads because I like doing tent stitch because it makes it go faster. I have not noticed a difference in the appearance overall between tent stitch and full cross if I use 2 threads. It still fills in. I'm going to wash the project when I'm done, which if I ever get it done, I will wash the project, and that will kind of like fluff up the thread from what I understand. And that will, if there are any areas where the fabric is kind of visible, it should like kind of fill that in. But honestly, I don't care if it shows or not. Like, I really don't. So if I do have a little bit of visible fabric in between the stitches, I really don't mind. It's okay. I don't want it to look like a painting. I want it to be where because also when, if you frame this thing and hang it up on the wall, you're going to be looking at it from a distance. You ain't going to notice. If you do, it's like, oh, that's not a painting. Oh, wow. Look at that. So I stitch, and then for the floss, I'm in the States and I just buy DMC. I buy it as I need it because my projects have a lot of confetti. If there's differences in the dye lots, you don't even notice. I do have one color that honestly, you can tell it's from 2 different dye lots, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to use both bobbins of it. I bobbinate my floss. I'm still going to use them both because the confetti is so real that you ain't even gonna notice it's from one dye lot to another. Now, if there's going to be a section with a lot of color blocking, I do try to at least make sure that that's off of the same bobbin. Like, I'm not gonna, because I have a couple bobbins where like the thread's almost like kind of running out. I'm not going to do a big color blocking section with the piece that's almost done for. I'm going to use a fuller bobbin to do that color blocking section, just to make sure that I don't have that run into that problem where it's like 2 different colors. But what I responded to her on YouTube was that I've seen a lot of people over in the UK buy CXC floss. I've heard good things about it. I have not ordered it myself, but I've seen a lot of floss tubers over in other countries, some even in the States too, but DMC is more readily available. And it seems to not be as expensive here as it is in other countries. But I've seen a lot of other people use CXC floss for their projects because it's a lot cheaper, and it seems to me that they say that the quality is just as good. I can't vouch for that because I've never used it before, but I have heard good things about it. So you could try CXC floss, CXC. I know you can get that on AliExpress. I'm not sure if Amazon has it. I've never seen it in one of the stores, any of the stores I shop at around here. But I know AliExpress sells it. And then what else did I say? Oh, I talked about the fabric. So if you do want to do full crosses on these projects and you're going to use a higher count fabric, I would suggest 1 over 1. because it will get extremely bulky. If you do 2 threads full cross, it will get way too bulky. Like, yeah. But that's just, you know, that's everybody's preference. Like, if I'm gonna use 2 threads, I'm gonna do 10 stitch. If I really want to do full cross, I will only use 1 thread, which I have a project that I'm gonna talk about. Let me talk about my haul first. I don't have much haul per se. I just realized I do not have, so there's that, Gabriella. Thank you for asking. And if you guys have any questions about anything, you can ask away, and I will do my best to answer. And if I don't know the answer, I will just give my opinion. If it's something that I can't find the answer to, I'll say, this is what I think. I'm gonna try to pull up a pattern that I got. So, nope, that was not. So the Cross-Stitch Studio had a challenge on Facebook that here we go. Let me do a search. They had a challenge in the month of May to post pictures throughout the month. And so Honeymoon Sunset was my project for the month of May. And if you basically met the requirements of their challenge, you got like $5 off a pattern. So this was the pattern that I picked to buy for a discount, Timekeeper. I've seen this being stitched. I don't remember if I've seen a fully finished one, but somebody else on that group is stitching this, and it looks so cool. This was actually the very first pattern I have ever seen from that group, and I fell in love with it. It looked so realistic and so lifelike. And then I fell into their landscape section, and things just took off. So I finally bought the pattern. I don't have the fabric yet. but I have the pattern. So, one of the other challenges that they had after the May challenge, it was this past weekend, they did a challenge, a little mini weekend challenge. Their challenge was to stitch as much as you could over the course of 3 days on an Abraham Hunter piece, because that's one of their, Abraham Hunter is one of their main artists on that page. So I did the challenge, but the picture that they had for the cover photo was his piece called Catching Rays. And I've been admiring that since it came out last year. And I kept seeing it the entire weekend during the challenge. So I bought it. I couldn't help myself. I bought it. Now, mind you, and I bought the fabric. So in order to get this on one piece of fabric without it being a specialty cut or specially made, I have to go 32 count. So I'm going to stitch this on 32 count, easy count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. And the reason why I have to do 32 count is because this thing is 1,200 stitches wide by 900 stitches tall. Now I knew that was a big piece. I didn't add it up in my head. Downloaded it on Pattern Keeper just to see what the colors, you know, what kind of colors I was looking at, because it's a lot of blues and stuff like that. And I saw the total stitch count. 1,080,000 stitches. 1,080,000 stitches. I'm gonna be working on this thing forever. If I did the math right, if I do 500 stitches a day, every day, it will take 6 years to finish. Which realistically, when you look at it that way, for a piece that big, that's not that bad. But I'm not going to work on it every day. And even if I do, I might not get 500 stitches. So yeah, I have another lifetime project on my hands. Because as soon as that fabric comes in, I'm starting it. I can't wait. I'm going to start it. I'm excited. I'm excited. Really love it. I just, you know, I couldn't help myself. It's just, it's the ocean. It's a landscape, sort of. It's got turtles and dolphins. It's got those dreaded palm trees that I don't like, but they're just part of ocean life. But, you know, you got, the turtles have names. They're Laverne and Shirley. I didn't name them. I think Abraham Hunter named them Laverne and Shirley. I don't know what the names of the dolphins are up here. I'm calling them Mo, Larry, and Curly. So you got Laverne and Shirley and Mo, Larry, and Curly up there. And I wanted the whole thing. They have crops of just Laverne and Shirley and Mo, Larry, and Curly. They do have cropped pieces of just those, but I don't want to do the crops. I want to do the whole thing. I want it all together. I want the coral. I want the sky. I want the water. I want it all. I want it all. So, yeah, I like to torture myself, apparently. Okay, so let's get into the projects that I worked on the past 2 weeks. My project bag that my mom had made me. I showed this in my last video. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show you is what I decided to do is I made little mini goals for myself for these projects. I set little mini goals, see if I could achieve them, and I made all my goals. I wanted to make the goal I wanted to hit the goal before my next Flosstube video. And I added all my stitches up. I decided to start tracking my stitches because I was curious, because I've been posting, you know, anywhere between 500 and 1,000 stitches a day on my Facebook games. And so I was like, you know what? I need to see how many stitches I've been doing, because this is a lot. The past 2 weeks since my last video, I have stitched 15,200 stitches. Shows you how much of a life I don't have, because this is apparently all I'm doing. All right, so the first project I want to show you is my May Gnome. This is from Missy Cross at Cross Stitch for Everyone. This is part of her Year of Gnome Stitch Along. This is the May Gnome. Let me try to angle it so you can see what it's going to look like. My goal for this was 1,000 stitches. That's what it looked like the last time. I'm going to say this, and I might not. You might get a surprise. You might actually get previous photos. But if I decide to put in a photo, this is what it looked like the last time. And this is what it looks like now. I am stitching this on 28 count white Monaco, 1/1. I said in other videos 1/1 I did not like to do. It's actually not that bad. The hardest thing for me is ending my thread. I can't do a pin stitch because I'm doing it over 1. And it's so tight on, like, it's kind of tight on the back, so it's hard for me to just weave the threads under. So ending the threads is a little bit of a pain in the butt. However, I am digging the 1/1. So when I do that ginormous project, 32 count 1/1, I'll be all right. But I'm almost done with the hat. I did most of the flowers in there. My goal for this was 1,000 stitches, and I hit it. So down here is going to be his big old nose and his beard, and then a little flower right there, and then feet sticking out. This is the whole piece of fabric. I'm thinking, oh, and there's going to be some flowers off to the sides as well. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be able to stick any gnomes on the sides here. When I mapped this out, I started in the center of the fabric thinking that I only needed 9 spaces for 12 gnomes, because I don't know I need to go back to first grade math. So I only had kind of 9 spots blocked out, which was a huge mistake, but that's okay. I have another piece of 28 count white even weave that I can put other gnomes on. So that's okay. I'll make it work. I just don't know if I'll be able to put any on the sides, because there's 12. I know I can put some at the top and the bottom. So yeah, I know I can put some at the top and the bottom. And then I have another piece of white Monaco for the rest of them. So we'll see. I mean, with my deal, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to get to all of them, but if I do, there's that. Okay, so my next project is my Christmas reindeer stocking. My goal for this was to reach 10%, and I reached it. So this is the one I was saying that somebody had mentioned before about doing a gift tag, cross-stitch a name as a gift tag to attach to the stocking, because there's nowhere really to put a name on there. This is from Heaven and Earth Designs. The artwork is by Donna Gelsinger. And this is what it looked like the last time. And this is where I'm at now. Maybe. Psych. I'm just kidding. Okay, this is where I'm at now. So this is the side of the stocking that's going to swoop out to do the foot. And then this is the other edge of the stocking. It's going to come down like this. This is the reindeer right here. These are his legs coming down. And this is his face that's kind of turned back to look. Kind of hard to see. It might be, I don't know. Kind of hard to see right now because I don't have more detail in. But these are, ooh, I just noticed those are the jingle bells. I just saw that. I was like, what's this red? And then this is part of the sled. So, yeah, I'm stitching this on 25 count easy count Lugana 2/110 stitch. I have done 1,200 stitches on it since the last time you saw it. And my goal was 10%, and I am at 10.65%. I have done a total of 5,952 stitches on it since I started, since the start of the project. There was a total of 55,903 stitches. So that's my other stocking. I have not worked on that one since you saw it last, so I'm not even going to bother showing that one. The next things I want to show you are my villages. I worked on 2 of my seasonal villages. These are from the Stony Creek collection. And my goal so the first one I worked on was Autumn in the Village. It's from Stony Creek collection. This is what it's going to look like. I talk about how much I hate backstitching. What did I do? I bought 4 freaking patterns that have tons of backstitching in them. So who knows when these will get finished. But my goal for this was 2,000 stitches, and blew that goal out of the water. I got a total of 2,400 stitches on it since the last time you saw it. Here's what it looked like before. I might just be pointing and saying that for no reason. I am stitching this on 28 count Jobelin in Chai, I think. And I don't remember who dyed it. Might be Picture This Plus. I don't know. I didn't really look. I just looked at the color of the fabric and I was like, ooh, that's pretty. I want it. This is where I'm at now. Can't see. So this building is done right here. Finished that tree. That tree was a bit of a pain because of all the confetti, and this is a paper pattern, so I can't just like highlight the stitches and mark them off as I finish them. I have started on this building here. This right here is a little bit of a mess up. That white frame and this green right here should be down one more stitch. So I have to look at that and see if that's really going to mess it up that much, or if I can fudge it so I don't have to pull that out again, because I really don't want to. Or not again, but see if I have to pull it out and restitch it. I might be able to wing it. I might be able to wing it. Possibly. Yeah, I might be able to, yeah, I could fetch it. So my goal for that was 2,000 stitches. I've gotten 2,400 stitches on it. I have no clue how many stitches are on these things total because they're paper patterns. I could probably just multiply it. It's 250 by 75 stitches, so whatever that adds up to. All right, so the next project that I want to show you, I have cat hair on it. Gracie. Yeah, that might be Mr. Whiskers. I don't know. Next one I'll show you is Summer in the Village. This is also from Stony Creek Collection. They also have spring and winter. I did not work on those since the last time that I filmed, so I'm not going to pull those out. But this is Summer in the Village. I just started working on this on Thursday. Yeah, I started doing it on Thursday. And so I set a shorter goal for it because my goals, I'm trying to achieve them before I film again. So I decided to do 1,000 stitches on this one instead of 2,000. And I met that goal. This is what it looked like the last time. This should be about the same size. I think it's also, yeah, 240 by 72. What's the other one? 250 by 75. So they're almost the same size. I am stitching this one on 28 count Jobelin in African Daisy. Here's where I'm at now. I am almost done with this. This is the ice cream shop. Or shop-e, as this thing says. Oh, they're stools. I was trying to figure out. Well, if they're stools, why are they all pink? Did I stitch? Did I mess it up? No. Oh, maybe that's just how it's outlined. I thought I messed this up. So this red right here, these are stools at the counter or at the window. No, just under the window. They're benches and a table. And I thought that I had messed that up because that's all pink. But I think it's just the way that it's outlined. Yeah, there's just back stitching to signify the bottom of the benches and table. So anyway, this building is almost done. I have one lone stitch up here in the window, and then I have some here in this window and the door, and then that building will be finished. And that's a fence behind this building over here. And then I started on the trees in the back. Yes, there was a purple spot right there. That is not from me. That is from who, place I got the fabric from. It's okay. I don't care. Not gonna message him about it. Not gonna try to get money back. I'm not, I don't care. I'll make it work. I think that spot's gonna get covered up with stitching, so I'm not worried about it. And even if it doesn't, whatever. Okay, so I have 2 more projects to show. Right? Yes. Okay. So the next project I want to show is Fairy Tale Cottage. This is from Crosshairs Studio. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. This thing is pretty big. It is 979 by 737 with 133 colors. This is what it looked like the last time. I worked up in the top right corner, and let me get this to where I can manage it because it's a big piece of fabric. This is where I'm at now. So I got more of the sky and that tree up in the top right corner. So yeah, I did, my goal for this was 3,000 stitches and I hit it. I did 3,000 stitches right there. And I am at 2.58% altogether because I do have some running down. I've done a total of 18,589 stitches out of 721,523. So there's that. Now it's all messed up. It's okay, I'll fix it later. And then the last project I want to show you is Honeymoon Sunset. This was, I was working on this project for a few days. I did a lot of stitching on this one because I was working on it for a few days after I posted my last video, and then they had that weekend challenge on their website, on their Facebook group. So I kept working on it. So I worked on this for almost an entire week. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I did a total, I decided, since I was working on this for like almost an entire week, I decided to try to hit 25%. And I hit it. I'm at 25.45%. I've been working on this thing for almost a year. So I have done a total of 143,524 stitches out of 563,981. And again, I am at 25.45%. Since I last filmed, I have done a total of 8,200 stitches. Now, the last time you saw it, I had a lot of parked threads because my goal was to do the thread and do 10 by 20 blocks and work my way down. Got tired of that. So worked in all my parked threads, and then I moved over a little bit so that I could work in this one particular section to try to get it filled in. So here's where I'm at now. So I worked in all these parked threads here. I see column lines, and I think this is what was bugging me about working in parts in the blocks. So, but if you stretch it out, which it would be stretched out when it's framed, you can't tell, so it's okay. But worked in all those parked threads, and then I moved over here and I started filling all this stuff in over here. So that is 8,200 stitches. And this is what 25% of that project looks like. So there's that. All right, that's all the stitching that I have to show you. So if you're only here to look at the projects, then it's been great having you. Appreciate it. Let me see. Okay, so let's talk about my fake plans. And I'm going to call them fake plans from here on out. My flans. No. Fake. Anyway. I'm going to call them my fake plans from here on out because when it comes to my stitching, I make a plan and then I don't stick to it. So we'll pretend like we're making plans and then we'll see how many of them I actually get done. I know that one of the things that I will stick to is the fact that when I get the fabric for catching rays, I am starting that joker. I know that for sure. I have already ordered my fabric. I am just waiting for it to get here. I'm waiting for them to ship it. I don't know if they're going to ship it today, because I ordered it last night. I was talking to my little stitching friends on one of my groups, and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for the fabric to get here. And they were like, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. And she was like, when did you order it? And I looked back at the order. I was like, an hour and a half ago. Yeah, as soon as that fabric comes, I am so starting that thing. It's my guess, the way that they've been going is, my guess is that I will get it end of this week, beginning of by Friday, or at the latest, like beginning of the following week. So you will be seeing that on my next video, because I will be starting that thing as soon as I see it. So let's see, what else do I want to try to work on? I do want to try and get some more done on, what's this one? Oh yeah, I do want to try to get some more done on Hiding Place. That's another one from the Cross Stitch Studio, and I want to try to work on my other stocking that I have, the one with the Christmas tree in it. I am trying that one because it's small enough that I think I'll be okay with it. I'm trying that one Extreme Cross Country. I'm just putting my projects back in the bag here. I'm trying that one Extreme Cross Country, and I have done 4 colors out of 90, and I'm like halfway done with another color. So I want to try to work on that stocking, and I don't know. I also want to try to work on the other 2 villages, the winter in the village and the spring in the village. What else do I want to do? If I can get the main gnome done, it's not going to happen. Excuse me. If I get the main gnome done, then I will go ahead and start working on the June, or any of them really. I have my samplers from Cooler Design Studio, my seasonal samplers from Cooler Design Studio. I also have fabric that I can start. I have spring and summer started, and I have fabric that I can start autumn and winter. I have so many projects, and I'm actually going to be filming a whip parade this weekend to show you all my projects, which is going to make me want to work on all of them. Maybe that's what I can do when I film my whip parade. I'll set aside some projects that I really want to work on. We'll see. So, yeah. We'll say right now that the only plan I have for sure set in stone is that as soon as that fabric gets here for Catching Rays, I am going to start it. That I know. The rest of it's going to be up in the air. I might have a few new starts next time you see me. Besides that one, I might go ahead and start my other seasonal samplers. I also have the pattern from Stitchman Darcy, Love You to Death, and I have some fabric for that I wanted to do. I have my little ABC samplers from Design Works that I want to work on. I have some dimensions kits that I want to work on. It's so much. It's overwhelming. In a good way though. I like the fact that I have so many projects that I want to work on that I can't decide which ones I want to do. On that note, if I tried doing the decision wheel again, and I did the projects I wanted to work on, but then when the wheel landed, I was like, I don't want to work on that one. I want to work on this one instead. And I can't do a rotation because of the same thing. When I get to it in the rotation, I'm going to be like, oh, I don't want to do that one. I want to work on this one instead. So I think what I'll do is I'll just be like, I'll just look through my projects and be like, what do I want to do? And I'll just pull one out, and then I will set a goal for that one of, I'm going to work on this one until I hit this many stitches. And then if I go over that count, and I'm not going to do something unrealistic. Like I'm not going to be like, oh, I want to get, you know, 10,000 stitches on this full coverage before I move on to another one. No, I'll just set a small goal of like 2 to 3,000, because for me, that's a small goal for those types of projects. As you can see from how many, I've done a total in the past 2 weeks of 15,200 stitches. So 2,000 to 3,000 stitches on a full coverage really is not that big of a deal for me. So I will set a small goal for that. If I go over it, that's okay. But at least I know when I hit that, I'm okay with moving on to another project. So yeah, now I'm going to work on uploading this video and try to film a whip parade. That's going to be a long ass video because I've got so many whips. Yeah. I have so many whips. I might try to count them. And I will be busting out the storage container that's under my bed so that this whip parade is going to be longer than the one from a few months ago, because for one, out of all those projects that I showed in my last whip parade back in March, I've only finished one of them. 2, I have more projects that I didn't show you that are like under my bed. So that's going to be added to it. And then 3, I have started so many new projects since that whip parade that I haven't finished, that I have even more projects to show. So yeah. All right. I think that's going to be it for me, because you're going to be seeing me again later tonight or tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, rest of your week, rest of your month, what have you. Hope you get a lot of stitching in. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. That's okay too. At least I know you watched it. And if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to be notified, and the bell. I can't talk. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified next time I post a new video. There we go. I'm a mess. Anyway, take care, stay safe, happy stitching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.